Hi everyone and welcome back. Ryan here from the London Craftsman, and today we're going to be talking airless sprayers. So watch till the end. I'm going to do some demos. At the beginning I'm going to just be talking about the jobs that I'm spraying at the moment and give you some advice. But ultimately we're going to be working our way into the spray room in about 10 minutes or so. Feel free to forward to the point where we're going to be spraying, but lots of useful information, and hopefully this will sway you into buying your own airless sprayer. I've got a job at the moment. If you have a look here, we've got 3 separate units. So we've got a wardrobe. This is the side profile, so you can see the angle it's going over a staircase bulkhead, front view. We've got a set of alcove units with floating shelves, front view, top view. And we've got a TV media unit. There you go, that's what it should look like. Floating shelves, slats, everything is shaker style. On this particular job, it's all low level. We've got an electrical meter in this box. This is why it's been designed a little bit taller. But this TV media unit and this wardrobe will be one colour. It's a Farrow and Ball colour, but we've actually mixed it in Johnstone's paint. A lot cheaper, but we still find Johnstone's is a great durable finish, a great brand, and we can get that mixed in a water-based acrylic eggshell, which is brilliant. So these two, the media unit and the wardrobe, are one colour. It's called All White, I think it is. So it's sort of like a white creamy colour. And this is a separate colour. To be honest, I'm not too sure what colour that is. I've just gone to the paint shop and got the name mixed up, so I've not looked to see how dark it is. But the beauty of airless sprayers is how quick they are. Okay, so most people go down the HVLP route, which is high volume, low pressure. I don't really use these guns because they're a little bit too slow for me. I've got tons of pieces to spray. If I was to spray all of these jobs, 2 colours with a HVLP, I'll be there for a week. You know, I've got to do 4 coats. The layers aren't very thick, whereas an airless sprayer, they come out really thick. You could probably get away with 2 coats. You do get an absolutely great finish with an airless sprayer. There's also myths about MDF. When you spray MDF, it rises and creates a little bit of texture. This is true, but once you've done the first coat and you denib it, second coat goes on lovely and you do get a lovely flat finish. For that reason, I do use airless sprayers. I can spray up to about 2 litres a minute if I wanted to. I don't actually spray that fast. I spray probably about ½ litre a minute. But I can coat one face of MDF completely. For example, this piece here, I can spray that in about 10 seconds. Completely one face, nice and thick with the primer, and it will cover completely, ready to denib and sand back. So realistically, I can most of the time get away with 2 coats. Another good point about the airless sprayers is that the paint is relatively cheap compared to HVLP gun paint. You know, when you're using HVLPs, you do get a lot of overspray. You get a lot of mist. The paint smells. You're going to need special filters. You're going to need special extractor fans, explosion-proof extractor fans, and you know, most of them are solvent-based. Whereas if I'm spraying with an airless, water-based, you wash everything out with water, and so much quicker to wash out your machines, and coverage is so much faster. I wanted to show you all of this first before I move into the spray room and just show you a little bit about the sprayers. You've probably seen a few videos before, but I want to explain to you a little bit more and try and tempt you into buying one of your own and giving it a go. Alright, so let's go into the spray room and I'll show you what I mean. So we've got these sliding doors to keep the dust out. And they do a great job. So you can see in the racks here, with our homemade racks, this is one colour. We've just sprayed one face. So all of these pieces here and all of these pieces in the rack have taken about 15 minutes to spray. And if you have a look at one, you can actually see how great they cover. Solid coverage with one coat. And I'm going to tell you a little cheat. A lot of painters and decorators are probably going to say, God, you're an absolute cowboy. But I've tried so many variations of paint, finishes, primers, top coats, undercoats. And I actually find that spraying 2 top coats rather than 1 primer and 1 top coat works absolute wonders. It probably won't work if you're going to be doing that with a roller or a brush, any hand finishes. But because I'm using an airless spray and I'm putting that first coat on really heavy, it dries absolutely solid. It soaks into the timber. I've tried getting a coin, I've tried getting something metal and a screwdriver and scratching that primer, that top coat off the first layer, and it doesn't budge. And it's also great to sand as well. So when we're denibbing, we use P240 on the orbital sander. It just takes those high points off and it's absolutely perfect. Nice and flat, still great coverage. You don't go back down to the MDF, and it's brilliant. Whereas I know this is the right way that it should be done. I found that the primers, as we're sanding it, it goes back down to MDF, and then you're starting afresh, because next time you put paint on, you've got a different finish. Where you've gone through to the MDF, that's going to be slightly dull matte finish, whereas all the rest is going to have a slight sheen, which means you're going to need another coat. So have a look at the paint I'm using. These two got 7.5 litres for a set of alcove units. We're using Johnstone's acrylic durable eggshell. Like I said, I'm doing 2 coats. First coat is this, second coat is this. So we're not using primers, as you've probably seen me use this type of primer before, which is acrylic primer undercoat, which is absolutely fine. If you still want to go down that route, you can still use it. But you know, I like experimenting and trying different things out. So yeah, the alcove units are this, and we've got 10 litres, which I've got in the machine here, of this other colour, which is going to be for the TV media unit, which I just showed you, on the racks and the wardrobe. And 10 litres should do sort of like a medium job. It does use quite a lot of paint compared to a HVLP, but when you work out the labour to materials ratio, how much you're spending on paint compared to how much time and effort you're putting in labour wise, it's so worth using an airless sprayer. You do get maybe 5% overspray. Have a look at the booth. You can see the white. This was pink below. Our job last week was a pink job, so I've sprayed about 20 components, and you can see the overspray on the floor already, and the filters already sucked up some of the spray. But like I said, these airless sprayers pump up to about 2 litres a minute, so you can get through it really fast. If you're spraying ceilings, walls, then these are absolutely perfect. So what makes all this possible to spray furniture, cabinetry, shelving, any woodwork at all, is the tip of the gun itself. So if I show you the gun, this is just a budget, I wouldn't say it's a budget gun, but it's one that comes with any airless sprayer really. The only thing that really changes is the tip. So if you take the tip out, give it a twist and a little wobble, you can see it's green. And let me show you the side. So on the side it says FFLP, which means fine finish, low pressure. These tips are great, firstly because they're low pressure. It means you don't need to pump up this machine to maximum pressure to push the paint out. As this paint is very thick and these holes are very tiny, these machines pump up to 3000 psi. And if you put that into context, your car tyre is only 30 psi. So it's 100 times more pressure than your car tyre. So as you need a lot of pressure to push this through, and the hole is so small, these are great because they work on some kind of technology where you don't need as much pressure to push that paint through. And the FF stands for fine finish, which means that it atomizes the paints a lot finer than a blue tip. So if I show you some more of these tips. Any blue tip is made for walls and ceilings because they've got slightly bigger holes. They don't give you the control, they don't give you the atomization of the paint. It just comes out very big, fan, very heavy. Compared to these come out, it's like dust. Bit more like a HVLP sprayer, where you've got more control with the fan and the pressure. So this is exactly what makes spraying furniture possible. On this particular job, I'm using a 310. 310 means the first number is a 3, times that by 2, that gives you a 6-inch fan, roughly. And the 10 is the size of the hole. So I generally go for a 310, 410, depending on if bigger panel, smaller panel. Sometimes I go to an 8 hole, which gives me less paint that comes out the hole, gives me more control. But on most jobs like this, a 310 is great. I've only got the machine set to 1200 psi, which is actually very low. A lot of people spray at about 1800 psi, but it gives me a better finish. So let me go ahead, stick this in the gun. I've already got this set up, I've already got it pumped up. The machine I'm using is a Graco 695. If you have a look around the front, 695 Ultra Max. It's about £3 brand new. You can go for an entry level, which is going to cost you around £1,000, but I always suggest Graco. I wouldn't go Wagner, I wouldn't go Titan. These are great machines. There is a new model on the market, so if you're looking for something low cost, there is a GX21. So it's a Graco GX21, and that sprays exactly the same as this, but it's just got less paint output. And what else? It doesn't pump up to as much pressure, and the pump is smaller. So the bigger the machine that you get, the less the pump is working, because it's got bigger strokes on the pump. Whereas the smaller machines, the pump's working faster. Du-dun, 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 du-dun. Whereas this one's is du-dum, du-dum, to get the same amount of paint out. Hence the reason these are more expensive and they last a lot longer. If you're doing jobs all the time, go for a big machine. If you're doing one job a month, or 2 jobs a month, then get the GX21. That's going to be absolutely fine as long as you clean them out. Alright, so now I've got my tip in. I've got the pointy end forwards, which means that it's going to spray the fan rather than you turn it around, that clears your blockages and comes out as a jet. Pointy tip forward, and let's have a look and give it a little go, see what kind of fan we've got. There you go, do another one. There you go, you can see how much paint comes out. So I've got a piece of the wardrobe. Remember, I was going through my components and the drawings that I was actually doing in the job in the workshop. You can see it's got an angle here. This is part of the wardrobe that's going over a staircase bulkhead. So this is touching the floor here, and that's the staircase where you walk underneath. So we've got bare MDF. We've got our top coat in. Like I said, painters and decorators probably ain't not going to love me for doing this, but give it a go if you've got an AIRLESS. I'm going to go directly onto this MDF. This MDF has been sanded up with P240. We've sanded up all the edges of all the components and given them treatment. I've actually made a video of this, so if you want to know how to seal edges and treat them, just click on the video above right now, or after you've watched this. And we've taken all the arises off with our trimmer. Again, there's a video for that, so click on this video up the top. And like I said, it's been sanded P240 and it's been dusted down. We go over it with an air compressor first, the air gun, and then we just get a brush over, make sure there is absolutely no dirt on it. You can use a tack rag as well, but because we're going to be spraying first coat, we're going to be rubbing it down. If there's any high points, it does not matter because they're going to get taken back. So we've tested the fan. We've got the right paint in at the right pressure. All you need to do is get practicing on your gun work, and what I'm going to do is start with the edge. Once I've done the edge a couple of times, I'm going to move my gun upwards. A lot of people start and stop with their gun, like do a run, let go of the trigger, do a run. I like to just continue. Keep my arm, I'm going to probably look like a little robot here while I do this. You want to keep your arm about 8 inches above your work. A little flick of the wrist so you don't waste too much paint. Don't flick your arm up at the end. You know, you want to go to the ends, quickly move it forwards. You want a nice half overlap, so every time you do your 4-inch fan, the next one wants to half overlap that first, and so on. Okay, so have a look, and hopefully I tempt you into buying a machine yourself, because I guarantee you're going to want one after this. So let's go and turn the fans on. You can can see the two fans here. I've got them set up in the corner. All I do is flick them on, turn the power onto the machine. Open the door to get some airflow in. And I don't have to worry about overspray on here because these two fans are sucking the air in from down that way. The overspray is always coming this way, so the overspray literally is not possible for it to go back and sit on the work that I've just sprayed. Alright, it's good to go. One more test just to make sure I'm happy with the fan. Yeah, that's a great pattern. You can see the width of the fan. And let's go. Okay, so that's the edge. So now I'm going to turn the gun upwards. 2 at the front again, and then I'm going to start moving forward. Half the fan width. You can see how fast it is. And this paint finish is going to be twice as thick as your roller. It's going on really heavy compared to a roller or a brush. If you do a roller or a brush, it's going to be 4 coats at least to get the same finish as these 2 coats. And it's as simple as that. Have a look. You try and get the lights. Have a look down the light. Go down there and have a little look. Try and get the shine. You see the sheen in it? So now that's done, you can see how quick that was. It's literally 30 seconds, isn't it, for a piece like that? How long would it take you to roller that? Or how long would it take you to HVLP spray that? 3 times as long. Every process is a lot longer. Rolling, brushing. HVLP, there's a lot more processes going on as well. It's literally pump the machine up with paint, spray it on, leave it an hour, denib it, do it once more. The component is absolutely completely finished, ready to assemble. So we also do the same with drawers. Differences with drawers, we make them as a whole. So we just sprayed this not long ago. We've used diamond eggshell. Again, we've done 2 coats of this. We didn't do a primer, we just did first coat of this, second coat of this. And I don't know if you can see the finish. Nice and flat, nice and shiny. There is a little bit of dust on there because it's been there for a week, but it just comes off instantly. But anyway, with the drawers, getting back to the point, is we spray our drawer as a whole. So I'll get it on the rack, my turntable, spin it around, and I just get it in. And the point I'm trying to make is if you've got big cabinets and you want to spray them as a whole, it's still possible. If you're going on site and you've got an existing cabinet to spray, you can still do it that way. AIRLESS sprayer, there's not many disadvantages really, as long as you're using that tip. So remember, the key to it is using this green tip, and I recommend a 310 or a 210 or maybe a 28 or a 38, 308 for any cabinetry you got. Don't use blue. And the great thing about these machines is if you want to paint your house, all you got to do is disconnect it, wheel it into your house, put your paint in, spray your walls and the ceiling. You can probably get a house done, you can probably get a room done in 30 minutes. So I hope that's tempted you into buying one. If you want any advice, just give us a shout. If you're going to be spraying quite a bit, go for a bigger machine, so like the 595, the 695. But if you want to just test it out and give it a go yourself, go for a GX21. It's only £700 at the moment. Or go for a 390 or a 395. They're around £1,500 mark. But I do suggest GX21. I've used it once or twice and they're amazing. So if you've enjoyed the video, guys, give me a thumbs up, hit the bell button to see more videos, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Comments, it'd be great to hear a comment, and if you've got any feedback, if you want to leave a comment, for example, what machine you use, if you do anything differently, how you found my paints advice, 2 top coats, be more than welcome to hear that. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.